Hi, I'm Medj and welcome to my food forest. It's very tiny, but I get to pick fruits and vegetables year-round for my family and still have some for sharing with friends and neighbors. If you follow along, I'll show you how to create a productive one in a small space at your own pace while nurturing our planet. But what is a food forest? And why is it good for you and the planet, you might ask? A food forest mimics a forest but with edible plants. Here in the tropics, it is the traditional way of gardening before the introduction of landscape ornamental lawns and gardens. There are 7 layers in a food forest. The first two are trees, the canopy, which is the tallest, or the fruit and nut tree layer, and the second is the understory dwarf fruit tree layer. Underneath the tree layers, we have the shrub layer, the herbaceous layer, the root layer or the rhizosphere, ground cover, and the crawlers and vines. Since we're talking about a small space food forest, it is better, in my opinion, to skip the canopy layer and start directly with the dwarf fruit trees. Make a list of the things you want to grow, taking in consideration of the size of your garden and also what you want to eat, because what is the use of growing your own food when you won't eat or don't like what you have grown? Since the garden is small, plants should also have multiple uses. After planting the fruit trees, maximize the space by planting in between and underneath the trees. Plant things where you think they'll prosper. It will be a trial and error at first. There will be a lot of shaded areas and you might think that your sun-loving plants will not thrive, but try it anyway. I have lots of things that I've read that won't grow in one area, but when I tried, since I like the space, they actually did grow and they thrive. Soil should be ideal, but if you're just starting to grow, never mind that. There will be enough nutrients in the ground when you start the food forest. What's important is know how and when to amend the soil. There are different ways to amend the soil, and then there are different ways to compost. Do what is easy for you and adaptable to your situation. Plant nitrogen fixers like moringa. They capture the nitrogen from the atmosphere and help your plants grow. Also incorporate animals like chickens, rabbits, and worms. They're good weeders and pest managers. Their manure is a very good natural fertilizer. Try to plant natives. They are your pollinators' food. Remember, when there are no pollinators, there will be no fruits. Prune after every fruiting to encourage more fruits and manage the height of your trees for easy harvesting. Put up a pathway so gardening, especially harvesting, will be easier. Water less frequently but deeply. This will encourage the roots to dig deeper into the soil in search of water. This will help them withstand strong winds that is brought about by these climate changes. If you think a tree is not worth growing or worth keeping, remove it. Use it instead to mulch the food forest or use it as firewood. When I removed the nut tree and the curry leaf tree, my banana that stopped fruiting for a year brought in 2 bunches in a year's time, and another one coming soon. Finally, just enjoy the slow process. There are no gardening mistakes, just experiments. You do you, and enjoy the fruit of your labor.